प्रणमामि हरे प्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। प्रिय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा all kids. Kids who ever haven't logged with your name, please log with your name. Okay, I can see Ekta. Is that your name?
Yes, it's my name.
Oh, your name. Okay, Mataji. Okay.
My son name is Jaykrit.
Jaykrit. If possible, please do change the name, Mataji. Yeah, so we can call each other like that.
No problem.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Gaurangi.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So all good. Nice to see you all back this week also. So now I want to ask, what was the thing that you heard last week? What was the story you heard last week? Last week you heard a story, right? What was the story? I think Mataji was talking about good association and bad association, right? And whose example was she taking? The example of Mantra, right? Mantra and Kaikeyi story, right? You were talking about Sumantra and Mantra. Okay, two types of association, right? Mantra was the maid servant of Kaikeyi, okay, and Sumantra was the minister of Dashrath Maharaj, okay. So how both can be a good influence and a bad influence, okay. This is what we learned last week, okay. But in terms of story, we left where? Like last week's topics, that the week before. We had some number of topics. We first heard the birth of Lord Rama, right? How Lord Rama and the 4 kids. Who are the 4 kids of Dashrath Maharaj? Who are the 4 kids? Good. Yeah, it was Lord Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna, right? 4 kids with 3 wives. Who are the 3 wives? What was the name of 3 wives of Lord Rama?
Kaushalya, Kaikai, and Sumitra.
And Sumitra. Okay. And who was the primary queen? What? Kaikai was the primary queen? Kaushalya, right? Lord Rama's mother. Okay. Kaushalya was the primary queen, followed by Kaushalya, Sumitra, and Kaikeyi. Okay. Kaikeyi was the youngest queen. Okay. So we resume in a place where Rama is on a trip. Okay. To which ashrama? Which ashrama is he going to now? Vishwamitra's ashrama. What was the ashrama called? Anyone remember the ashrama's name? It was called Siddhashrama. Okay. So Rama is on his way with Lakshmana and Vishwamitra Muni to the ashrama of Siddhashrama. Okay. So on this way, Rama asks a lot of stories and Vishwamitra, he's narrating. So as a part, what happens? They were going to the, they went to the ashrama. Over there, they killed who? They killed, Rama kind of threw one demon out and he killed one demon. What was the demon's name?
Marichi and Subhangu.
Yeah, Marichi and Subhangu. Okay, and he also killed another demon. What was that demon's name? It was a she demon. Tataka, right? He also killed Tataka. Okay, so 3 demons he has killed. So now he asks the permission of Vishwamitra Muni to return back to Ayodhya. Okay, but Vishwamitra Muni says that there is this one place that we have to go to, and that kingdom's name is called Mithila. Okay, and who is the king of Mithila? Who is the king of Mithila? Correct. Janak Maharaj is the king of Mithila. Okay, so they want to go there. And Ramachandra will ask, what is the purpose or visit to Mithila? So Vishwamitra Muni starts saying that there is this one very huge bow over there, and it is very auspicious. Okay, and this bow belongs to Lord Sri Rama. Okay, so Lord Shiva. Sorry. Okay, it belongs to Lord Shiva. Okay, so and this bow was later on, it was passed to the Devatas. Okay, and the Devatas later passed it to a king. Okay, who was the king of Mithila. Okay, so what happened? Like, let us go and test out this bow. Okay, how it is and everything. So, and he also says that Janak Maharaj had invited me to the sacrifice that is going on in Mithila. Okay, it's a 12-day sacrifice. So you can also accompany me. So Rama also agrees, and he wants to see this mighty bow of Lord Shiva. So what happens? They start their journey towards Mithila. Okay. In this journey, what happens is they have to cross this river called the Soma River. Okay, what is the river's name? It's called Soma River. Okay, all clear? So what happens? This Soma River. Okay, as soon as they come near the Soma River, they want to see what this river is about. Okay, so Lord Rama will start asking, what is the significance of this river? Please tell me, oh Vashishta Muni. Okay, so Vashishta Muni will start glorifying the the things of Soma River. What is Soma River and everything? Okay, just 1 second, I'll share. Okay, so Soma River, it has a huge history. Okay, so we need a small board to write about all this. Okay, I hope you can all see the screen. You can all see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. So now what happens is, this story is about the Soma River. Okay, so what happens? Soma River, there was a great rishi who used to meditate over here. Okay, and that rishi's name was Kusha. Okay, and Kusha was actually a son of Lord Brahma. I'm sorry, someone else is drawing. Okay, now what happens? So this Soma River is there. Okay, 1 second. Anyone don't access the screen, okay? I'll just have to access it. So, okay, let me just exit this. Okay, I'll just explain verbally for now, okay? Because the screen is not working. So what happens? There was this one great rishi called Kusha, okay, who was the son of Lord Brahma. So what happens? He had 4 sons. Okay, Kusha had how many sons? 4 sons. Okay, and all of the 4 sons were Kshatriyas. Okay, and all of them founded one city each. So in total, 4 cities they had found, and all of these cities were nearly in the banks of a Sona River. Okay, so now what happens is, amongst these 4 sons, one of the Kusha sons name was Kushamba. Okay, and Kushamba had 100 daughters. Okay, all of these 100 daughters were very beautiful, and they were born out of his wife who was an Apsara. So they were like very, very beautiful, not just beautiful, but they were one of the most beautiful beings on earth. Okay, so now what happens is, these girls were very beautiful, and they used to play in the banks of this Soma River. Okay, now what happens is, when these girls were playing, okay, the demigod of air, okay, what is his name? Demigod of air is called what in Sanskrit? Vayu, correct. Yes. So now what happens? Vayudev comes, okay, and he sees these these 100 girls, and he's very attracted to these girls. Okay, so he comes and he asks all of them to marry him. Okay, in a very mean way. But all of these daughters will start saying that our father is a Rajashri. Okay, so we have the choice to choose the husband we are going to marry. So you cannot command us to marry you, and we are not cursing you because we are well taught. But now what happened? Vayu gets angry, okay, but he cannot also curse these girls. So what happens is, to take revenge, he enters each, because he's Vayu, right? Air, right? So every time we breathe, okay, he can also enter into our body. So he enters into everyone's body, okay, and he starts making their bodies like ugly, okay, hunched back, right, with very ugly features and everything. And after seeing each other, all the 100 daughters will start running to their father Kushamba, and they will explain him about the whole situation. his father is very proud of what all the 100 daughters have done, because first of all, they have not cursed someone who is a demigod. Okay. And second thing also is that they haven't cursed because they are well knowledgeable that they have to be they're very forgiving by nature, and it was Vayu's fault. So now what happens? His father decides to marry the 100 girls off to a very well qualified person. Okay. To know who this person is, we need to know a backstory. Okay. There was this one great brahmachari, okay, who used to meditate. He's actually an Gandharva who was unmarried, and his name was Chuli. Okay. And there was one girl who used to perform a lot of austerities to this Chuli person. So what happens in this time? This Chuli, like this maid servant, by seeing all the hard work of this maid servant, Chuli will ask the maid servant, what do you want? Like, what benediction you want? Then the girl will go and say to the Rishi that, I want to have a son with you. Okay. But I have to still, remain chastised. So the son will be born out of the mind of Chuli. Okay. So, and that son is called Brahma Datta. Okay. His name was Brahma Datta. Okay. Brahma means Lord Brahma, and Brahma's son, because only Brahma used to have sons from mind. Okay. So that's why he's called Brahma Datta. So thus going forward, Brahmadatta ruled, as a king, and this Brahmadatta was the one who Kushamba chose for his 100 daughters. Okay. So what happens? Brahmadatta accepts the king's thing. Okay. And he accepts the 100 girls. And as he was born to such a great rishi, okay, what happens is, as soon as he touches the girls' hands one by one, all of them again turn back into their beautiful forms. Okay. But in spite of marrying all of his 100 daughters, this Kushamba was still very like sad because he didn't have a son. Okay. So after doing some yajnas, homas and yagas, as a result, okay, after performing some sacrifices, he received a son, and the son's name was Ghadi. Okay. And this Ghadi, okay, was actually, and he says that Ghadi is the last born, of the whole line. And that Ghadi's son is me. He says me in the sense Vishwamitra Muni. Okay. So who was the father of Vishwamitra Muni? Ghadi, right? Vishwamitra's Muni's father was Ghadi, and Ghadi was the son of correct, Kushamba. And Kushamba's no, Ghadi was the son of Kushamba. Yes, correct. And Kushamba's son-in-law was who married the 100 daughters. Brahmadatta. Very good. Very good. So you remember the whole line, right? So who does it start with? This whole line starts with who? With Kusha, correct. And Kusha was the son of Lord Brahma. Okay. And he had how many sons? 4. 4 sons. Okay. So Kusha had 4 sons. Okay. And among the 4 sons, one of the son was Kushamba. And Kushamba had 100 daughters. And the 100 daughters' husband was called Brahmadatta. Okay. And Kushamba also had one son, and his name was Gadi. And Gadi's son was Vishwamitra Muni. Okay. Towards the end, okay, when they are about to reach, we'll also see the story of Vishwamitra Muni. But over now, this pastime of the son of Gadi hence. Okay, so this is how Vishwamitra Muni gives an introduction to Lord Rama about himself, like how he is the son of Gadi. Okay, and like this. So what happens further on? They move on. Okay, like their journey, Lord Rama, and they all start their journey towards Mithila. And on their way, what happens is they encounter the Ganga. Okay, and they have to rest the night over here because it has already night fallen. So they rest at the banks of Ganga, and the morning they were about to cross Ganga. Okay, once they cross, they visit this city. Okay, called Vishala. Okay, what is the city's name? Vishala. Okay, remember. Okay, the city name was Vishala. And Rama again requested Vishwamitra Muni to tell the glories of this Vishala city. Now, why is Rama throughout his journey asking about so many stories? You know why? Because every Kshetra they visit, okay, from Ayodhya to the Siddhashrama, and from Siddhashrama to to Mithila. All of these are very sacred places, okay, and they do not have such recognition in the history. That's why Rama wants to ask for us. He's asking all of these stories for us so that we know, okay, what were these different places, what were these ashramas and everything. So similarly, now they come to the city of Vishala, okay, and he starts asking the significance of Vishala. Hence, Vishwamitra Muni, again, he starts narrating, okay, he says that we all remember the churning of ocean, right? So the churning of ocean was going on and Vasuki was helping them, right? The head part was taken by the demons and the tail part was taken by the demigods, right? So when they were churning and churning, there was a mountain, right? Do you know what is the mountain's name? The churning ocean mountain they used? It's called Mandhara. Okay, the mountain which they used for churning was called Mandhara. Okay, this mountain was used and Vasuki was used. Okay, so they were churning and churning. What happened? The churning was so much so that the mountain started sinking. Okay, sinking into the sea. Now, what happened? Along with the mountain, even the demigods and demons were sinking. Okay, because they were holding the snake and they couldn't take off their grip. At this critical situation, what happens is Lord Vishnu, he comes in Garuda, okay, and he pulls the mountain, okay, from the ocean, and he again places it in the middle of the ocean, okay, and he turns himself into which avatara?
Tortoise.
Tortoise. What is the avatara called in Sanskrit? We call, for example, fish, okay, it's called Matsya, right? Matsya avatar. Tortoise, Kurma, correct. It was Kurma avatar. Huh. So Lord converts himself into Kurma avatar. Okay. Not only does he sit in the bottom and support the mountain, but his arms are so huge that he stretches all the way and it goes all the way on top of the mountain. Okay, and he holds the mountain on the top. So after holding the support, everyone will start churning the ocean. Okay, so the churning keeps happening, and what happens is the first thing that releases, okay, from this ocean is something called hala hala. Okay, hala hala is actually a poison that releases. And all of us know the story, right? About the hala hala. What happens to the poison? Lord Shiva takes the Yeah, correct. So we call him Neelakanteshwara, right? Which means the one with the blue throat, right? In the marking. So now what happens is he starts drinking this poison, okay, that came out of the ocean. Because if he doesn't drink, everyone present over there will die. Okay. So he drinks this poison. When he was drinking, okay, just one drop of poison falls on the ground. Okay, but that one drop of poison is what we can now see as animals like snakes, scorpions, and all these deadly, Venus flytrap and all of these plants, right? Which are deadly. If you go near them, they will eat you, right? So all of these plants and snakes that contain poison in them, okay, they all are born out of that one drop of poison that missed when Shiva was drinking. Okay, the hala hala poison. So we all have to remember that any deadly poisonous things you see, they come from this one drop of poison. So what happens like this? The poison had been drunk by Shiva. And later on, what happens when they were churning? Okay, a lot of things appear from the churning. Okay, can you give some examples of what things come out of when they were churning the ocean? Yeah, good. Lakshmi Devi and Dhanvantri. Yeah, Dhanvantri. So like that, the 60 million apsaras had come, and there was this one goddess of liquor. Okay, her name was Sura. Okay, so Sura had come out of the ocean. That's why the sons of Aditi, okay, are called Suras, and the sons of Diti are called Asuras. Okay, sons of sons of Aditi are called Suras because they come and they have this, a goddess of liquor, and the sons of Diti are Asuras, means who didn't get the liquor. Okay. Later, after many years, even Dhanvantri comes out. Okay, and he comes out with the ocean from the ocean of milk with a pot full of nectar, which is Amritam, right? This is what they want. So now what happens? Both the sides start fighting now. Okay, in this fight, the demons kind of get the poison at this very critical. So they get the nectar. So at this point, everyone is very tensed because now the demons have the nectar and what's going to happen. So immediately what happens? Lord Vishnu will take which avatara? Mohini avatar, correct. So he takes the avatar of Mohini. Okay. So in this Mohini avatar, he starts bewildering all the asuras and everyone, and he'll start, saying asuras that, you all are very strong. The demigods are not strong. So with his sweet words, he starts like, acting. Very pleasing with the demons. Okay, this way he splits the crowd into two. Okay, he sends all the demigods to one side and all the demons to the other side. Okay, so by doing this, he will make a plan that he, because Lord Vishnu only wants to give the nectar to the like the demigods and not the demons. Okay, now a question to all of you: why should Lord only give like this nectar to the demigods and not demons? Even the demons worked hard, right? It was like a mutual agreement, right? Both of them thought they'll both churn the ocean and whatever comes, they will split half. But why didn't they split the nectar into half?
Because Lord, the Devtas were devoted to Lord Vishnu and they hated Lord Vishnu, but demons did not have any faith in Lord Vishnu.
Yeah, so there's a saying that goes, right? It doesn't matter what we do, our intentions matter, right? So demons have, asuras have a very negative like a very negative take, right? Whereas the suras, whereas the demigods always worship Lord Vishnu, they follow their command and everything, right? So they are more God conscious, right? So they will listen to Vishnu's command. So nectar, when it is in the hand of demigods, in the hands of people who do the right thing, okay, they live longer. It makes sense. But if the demons, they live longer and they keep reviving themselves, okay, by drinking the nectar, okay, it is hard to kill them, right? And they're committing a lot of mistakes. So this is the major reason why the demons should not get the nectar. It's not because it is not that Vishnu doesn't support them. This is a small example, okay? You know Prahalad Maharaj, right? Yeah, Prahalad Maharaj was a demon only, He was Hiranyakashipu's son, right? So also Bali Maharaj was the son of a demon, right? In those both cases, both of them attained a liberation. Okay, so it is not that Lord Vishnu doesn't support demonic, okay, but it is the matter of how they do. Even he supported Vibhishana. In this Ramayana, we can see that Lord had supported Vibhishana, right? Vibhishana was the brother of Ravanasura. See, and who was Ravanasura? Ravanasura was a demon, right? But still he supported Vibhishana. So over here we see that the demons were extremely demonic in nature. So hence they didn't want to share the poison. So what happens? Mohini, she starts distributing the poison. And over here they see, okay, that an unfair entity is going on and Mohini is only giving the the amritam, so not the poison, the amritam, the nectar to only the demigods. So in this, what happens? Rahu, okay, one of the demons comes to this side, okay, and he disguises himself as a demigod and takes some of the poison. So even though after Lord Vishnu cuts his head, he is still alive. Okay, we know, right? Rahu's story.
Some of that isn't still his neck and the top part becomes onion and garlic.
Yeah, so they say that the blood that dropped, okay, of this Rahu is actually considered to be onion and garlic. Those kind of harsh, things we eat, right? So because they are so, every time you eat onion, don't you feel that it is very spicy, right? It is very spicy and it has a very strong and pungent smell, okay? So they say that it comes from the blood of this demon. So going forward, what happens is Aditi, okay, saw all of her sons get killed. So after the demigods got all the Amrita, they had a fight and the demons were getting killed. Now Diti, seeing all of this, she was very unhappy and she started doing some meditation, austerity, to gain a son who is more powerful than Indra. So Indra comes and he begs, Diti that, please don't do something like this. It is our duty to perform. But what happens by this time itself, Diti's meditation was almost over and she was about to beget a son. Okay. So what happens? Indra enters into the womb of Diti and he wants to cut the child, okay, inside the womb itself. But what happens is like Diti will start knowing that Indra is doing something inside her stomach, and she pleads him to come out. So as soon as Indra comes out, she pleads that, see, whatever you have done, once I beget all these children, you have to take them under your wing. Okay, so when she begets the child, okay, she will request everyone to become demigods. So the children born out of Diti from this penance, all of them will become demigods. All of them will become assistants of Indra, who guide him with rainfall, wind, and everything. Okay, so now what is the and Rama will ask, now all of this story you have said, Vishwamitra Muni, to me, but now how is this related to the city of, this Vishishta, okay, sorry, Vishala, right? The city they were visiting, right? Vishala. How is this related? And he says that this Vishala was the city where Diti performed her austerity. Okay, this is where she meditated. All of you understood? Clear till now? Mohini Avatara, everything, right? So, what was the city's name?
Vishala.
Vishala, correct. The city's name was Vishala. And this Vishala at present was ruled by a king called Sumati. Okay, so Sumati was the king of this dynasty, and he was ruling. And as soon as he knew that Vishwamitra Muni and Rama had arrived, he came and he received them, and they had spent the night in this city, and now they start their journey towards Mithila. Okay, so now when they were traveling to Mithila, they were on the outskirts of Mithila. Okay, and in this outskirts, they see a small hermitage. Okay, and this hermitage belonged to a Muni called Gautama Rishi. Okay, I think all of you know who Gautama Rishi is, right? Who was Gautama Rishi's wife?
Uh, Ahalya.
Ahalya, correct. So a backstory of Ahalya. Okay, Ahalya was the most beautiful, like woman that was ever created by Lord Brahma. Okay, she was the most beautiful. So every person, like every demigod, and every Gandharva, Apsaras, everyone was so awed in the beauty of Ahalya. She was that beautiful. Okay, so even Indra had a desire to have Ahalya. But what happened when there was a Swayambar conducted, to choose the husband of Ahalya? Brahma at the end he chose Gautama Rishi for her, okay, because he qualified all of those qualities which were needed. So now what happened? Gautama Muni and Ahalya are very happily married, and they start living on this earthly planet, okay, in this ashrama near Mithila. Now what happens is that they were living happily, but Indra's desire was still not fulfilled. So what happens one day, he will trick, okay, Gautama Muni, to in such a way that Gautama Muni was said to go for a morning snan. Okay, like this early morning Brahma Muhurta is there, right? So as soon as he goes out, Indra enters, and he like disguises himself as the Muni. Okay, just like Gautama Muni, he just looks like Gautama Muni. Okay, so what happens in this fit where he enters, the chamber of Ahalya, and he looks exactly like Gautama Muni. Okay, once again, I'll show you a picture. Okay, can you see the picture, all of you? Yes? Ah. So what happens in this fit? Indra just dresses himself like I mean disguises himself as like a Gautama Rishi, and then he goes near Ahalya. Okay, and what happened when they like when Ahalya, okay, she knows that it is not Gautama Muni. Okay, but she also knows that it's Indra who had come. Okay, but still she agreed to consent. Okay, to Indra's mischievousness. So what happens in this thing? Okay, after some time, she will come to know that whatever she has done is wrong, right? We have this consciousness inside us because Krishna is present as Paramatma inside all of us, right? So whenever we do something wrong or whenever we say a lie, we have something inside us that makes us feel guilty, right? So that is the Paramatma. Similarly, over here, Ahalya will start feeling guilty, okay, because she has done something wrong. So what happens? She's like, please, Indra, right now, please leave this place because if Gautama Rishi knows about this, he will curse both of us. Okay. So now what happens? Indra, he assumes the form of a what? He assumes the form of a cat. Okay. And he wants to leave this place. So now what happens when he was leaving the place? Gautama Muni, he was just entering the ashrama and he sees Lord Indra. Okay, and he sees, okay, obviously Gautama Rishi is a Maharishi, right? So he sees that the person who is in this cat is actually Indra. So, and he starts cursing Indra. He starts cursing Indra that you are so lusty in your behavior that, there will be like 100 or 1,000, like, the private part of a female will appear all over your body. Okay, all over your body will be filled with this parts. And then saying this, he will go, but Indra will start begging him on his knees. What will he beg? He'll beg like, please, I'm like the, God of the heavens, and I cannot look like this. No one will take me seriously, and everyone will start laughing at me. So after saying and pleading, Gautama Muni will be like, okay, and he'll say all of this will turn into ice. Right? That's why we see a lot of times that, Lord Indra has so many eyes all over his body. Okay, these eyes are basically the curse that was given by like Gautama Muni. And again he goes inside the hermitage and he sees his wife Ahalya, and he says that, see, just because you told the truth doesn't make things right. Okay, you still like agreed to be with Indra. So hence I curse that you will become, a kind of person who cannot eat anything, you cannot stand, you cannot sit. So basically he curses her to become into a stone. Okay, and he says only when Lord Ramachandra comes, okay, you will be relieved, and only then you and me will again get back together. Okay, by saying so, he will leave. Okay, and what happens after some time, after reciting this story, Vishwamitra Muni to Lord Rama, they both enter the ashrama, okay, of Gautama Rishi, and over there they see Ahalya. Okay, as soon as they see Ahalya, Lord Rama with his feet, he will go and touch Ahalya with his feet. Okay, and immediately Ahalya will get into her original form. Okay, I'll show you another picture of this example. So who was Ahalya? Ahalya was the daughter of
Brahma.
Brahma. Good, yes. So now what happens? You can see, right, with the feet. Okay, with the feet, Lord Rama touches Ahalya, right? And Ahalya is slowly turning from a stone to a beautiful person again. Okay, after saying so, Gautama Muni also appears as he promised. Okay, and both Gautama Muni and Ahalya reunite and they stay together. Okay, and after receiving the blessings of Gautama Muni, Lord Rama, Lakshmana, and Vishwamitra Muni continued their journey to Mithila. Okay, so on their way to Mithila, now they have reached Mithila. Okay, and who is the king of Mithila?
Janaka Maharaj.
Janaka Maharaj. Okay, very good. Yeah. So as we all heard, the saying of this powerful bow and everything, Lord Rama and everyone were so excited. And Vishwamitra Muni introduces these two young boys to Janaka Maharaj. He says that these are like two young men called Rama and Lakshmana. And, they are the sons of Dashrath Maharaj. Okay. And they have come here to try out the great bug. Okay, and they have come from for such a from such a long way, and he starts explaining all the things Lord Rama had done, like how he had killed so many rakshasas, and how he had killed Tataki and Marichi, like he threw Marichi like 1,000 yojanas away, and then how he killed Subahu, and then also how he freed Ahalya and everything. So in this conversation, what happens is Gautama Muni's son, okay, his name is Satyananda. Okay, Satananda. Okay, Satananda was also present in the Sabha. And Satananda says that I have been waiting for my mom to be delivered for such a long time. Can you please tell me how she was delivered? Okay, and now Vishwamitra Muni will recite the pastime of how Rama, relieved Ahalya and, turned her back. So just to repay the favor, what he did was he also reciprocated and he started narrating the story of Vishwamitra Muni. Okay, so now we will see the story of Vishwamitra Muni. Okay, so we all know that Vishwamitra Muni was the son of who? Vishwamitra Muni was the son of Gadi, right? He was the son of Gadi. Good. And Gadi was the son of
Shamba.
Vijay. Who?
Kushamba.
Kushamba, correct. Thank you so much. Okay, Kushamba, good. And Kushamba was the son of Kusha, okay, who was the son of Brahma, right? We're not supposed to forget this lineage. It's very important because Vishwamitra Muni's lineage, okay? So what happens? We all know, right? Vishwamitra Muni, before becoming a Brahman, he was a great Kshatriya king, okay? He was a very powerful Kshatriya king. So what happened? One day he took his Akshauni, okay? Akshauni is the soldiers, like there'll be like chariots, elephants and soldiers and everything. It's like an army, okay? And with this army he was traveling across the earth to see if there are any kind of bad things that are going on. And on his way he visited a great ashrama of a Brahma Rishi, okay? And the Brahma Rishi was who? Vashishta Muni. Yeah, correct. I think it was Gaurangi. Yes, good. So it was Vashishta Muni. Okay, so he visited. He visited the hermitage of Vashishta Muni. So after entering into the hermitage, okay, Vashishta Muni welcomed everyone, and they were like asking and insisting them to stay. Initially, Vishwamitra Muni was refusing, but after a very persistent pursuance, Vishwamitra Muni agreed, and he stayed in the ashrama. Okay. Now Vashishta Muni to like serve all the people. Okay, right? Now, does anyone know what is the exact number of Akshauni? What is the exact number of Akshauni? So Akshauni basically means like chariots, elephants, okay, infantrymen and horsemen, right? So like there are specific numbers for this. Okay, does anyone know the numbers?
100 chariots.
Okay. 21,870 chariots, 21,870 elephants, and it was 1,950 infantrymen and 65,100 horsemen. Okay, approximately, you just think. Approximately so many people were there. Okay, now what happens? Now who has to feed all of this? Now Vashishta Muni has to feed all of this crowd. Okay, it's just so much of in number, right? So many people in number. So what happens? He had a special cow. Okay, what was the cow's name? Does anyone know?
Kamadenu, Hare Krishna.
Correct. Yes, Mata. Rajeshwari Mataji, you're right. Okay, it was Kamadenu. Yeah. So the cow's name the cow was a Kamadenu. Kamadenu means from which like unlimited things will come out. Okay. The Kamadenu's name was actually Shabala. Okay. The Kamadenu's name was what?
Shabala.
Shabala. Okay. Yeah, Shabala. Good. Okay. Now Shabala ordered Kamadenu, and this huge royal feast was arranged for all those soldiers and all the chariot drivers and everyone. Okay. And by seeing all this, okay, it was not just food, it was also drinks, sweets, all kind of things, whatever you expect was on the table. Now, by seeing the celestial cow, automatically Vishwamitra had this desire. He had this desire to have the Kamadenu at any cost. Okay. Now, what happened? He will ask Vashishta Muni that Muni, can I just get this wonderful cow? Okay, I will pay you how much ever you want. Okay, and he will offer him, I'll give you like thousands of cows, jewelry, gold, whatever you wish for. But Vashishta Muni will say, I'm so sorry. Kamadenu is a part of my family. Okay, it's like a family to me, and it is what gives me all the things I need for yajnas and yagas, right? Because some of the specific things that sometimes it is required is not even found in general. Okay, so yajnas and yagas require a lot of like ingredients. So I cannot give you this Kamadenu because it helps me with all the sacrificial performances. Now Vishwamitra gets very angry, okay, and he's like, I am the king of this whole kingdom, okay, and all of this land also I own. So anything that comes into this land, okay, it is all mine. Because it is my kingdom and my land, everything over here belongs to me. Hence, this Kamadenu is also belonging to me. So, like this, he says, and he says a lot of other things, but still Vashishta Muni refuses. After this, Vishwamitra Muni gets very angry, and what he starts grabbing Kamadhenu, and he will drag the Kamadhenu out of the ashrama. Now the Kamadhenu is crying, okay, so he's crying to who? Vashishta Muni, saying, you're allowing this person to take me, and I have served you so much. And in this fit of anger, Kamadhenu releases herself from this, Vashishta Muni, and she runs back to, frees herself from Vishwamitra Muni and runs into Vashishta Muni's ashrama. Okay, Shabala is like very attached to Vashishta Muni. And then Vashishta Muni then will say, please do not take, even the Kamadhenu doesn't, like to do. Now what happened, Vishwamitra Muni gets even more angry, and he asks his whole army to start attacking the ashrama. Okay. Now what happens, Vashishta is very strong. Okay. He's a Brahma Rishi. You know, right, what Brahma Rishi is? We talked about 3 types of Rishi, right?
The Rishi,
Raja
Brahma Rishi, Deva Rishi.
Correct. Yeah. So the strongest is who?
Brahma Rishi.
Correct. So, and Vashishta Muni was a Brahma Rishi, right? So he had a lot of powers. Okay. Though Vishwamitra Muni had so many, so much of army, like he had one Akshauni, right? Such a huge army. Okay. Everything was defeated. And seeing this, even Vishwamitra Muni had 100 sons. Okay. And they all also had went, and they also were all burnt and into ashes. And everyone were destroyed in this battle. Okay, so after some time, what happens is, in this process, Vashishta Muni wins. Okay, and Vishwamitra Muni sees this, and Vishwamitra, he was a king at this time. Okay, so he sees, and he'll be like, so being a rishi is more powerful than being a kshatriya. Okay, so what I will do, I will start performing austerities and penance, and I will achieve the level of Vashishta Muni, and I will come back and fight again. Okay, so what happens? He will start, Vashishta Muni will give up the whole kingdom, everything, and he will start meditating. Okay, on who will he meditate? He meditates on Lord Shiva. Okay, now being satisfied, okay, by Vashishta Muni's penance and everything, they all grant him a lot of wishes. Okay, but the one wish that they don't grant him is any kind of Rajarishi, not even Rajarishi, not even like Devarishi. Okay, they will just tell him, we wish whatever you want for. So Vashishta Muni, what happens, he will be like, uh, just teach me or give me the power of knowing all the weapons. Okay, so this was the first wish Vishwamitra Muni will ask. Now Lord Shiva, he gives all the knowledge of all the weapons to Vishwamitra Muni. But even after all this, he was not able to defeat Vashishta Muni. Okay, so what he thought was, his aim was to become a Brahma Rishi. Whose aim was to become a Brahma Rishi?
Vishwamitra.
Vishwamitra. Okay, so he was so he's like, I have to become a Brahma Rishi at any cost. Okay, so saying so, he starts again, performing sacrifices and everything. And what happens from Brahma? Okay, after 1,000 years of sacrifice, Brahma appears, and he tells him that, okay, now I've granted you the status of a Raja Rishi. Okay, however, now again, Vishwamitra is not happy. Raja Rishi is basically a Rishi who is great as a ruler, and he also has some, Brahmin qualities. That's it. It is nothing more than that. Okay, and Vishwamitra again resumes. He's like, no, I need Brahma Rishi only. Okay, so now this whole almost a millions of years pass, and the rule goes on, and after a very long time, okay, everyone will become everyone will be due to the tapasya of Vashishta Muni, the whole earth will start getting heated. Okay, and everyone will come to Brahma, and they'll be like, please grant him the wish, please make him Brahma Rishi. Okay, it's fine, like he's very powerful at this stage, so just make him the Brahma Rishi. But even now, Brahma is very reluctant, because he feels Vishwamitra Muni is very angry. Okay, and he has not yet subdued his anger. First, he has to subdue your anger, right? One person should first stay calm in terms of mind and body. Only then they will achieve the stage of a Brahma Rishi. Saying so, they again wait for some more time. In the meanwhile, Indra is getting scared. Indra is getting scared that this Vashishta Muni is becoming more, powerful day by day, and he might take up, Indra's throne. Indra is always scared. Okay, Indra is scared of everyone. He's scared of Gautama Rishi. Okay, and now again he's scared of Vishwamitra Muni also. And he starts, but in spite of all this also, he keeps his penance up, okay, and then he keeps going on. So like this, one day, okay, Vishwamitra Muni then returns and he will become more determined to do this Brahma Rishi. So and then there'll be one like Apsara called Menaka, okay, who will come to pursue Vishwamitra Muni, okay. But even after all this, okay, Vishwamitra Muni first he gets attracted to Menaka, but what happens finally, he realizes that, he has done something wrong. So eventually he will return back to his austerity. Okay. Though his austerity was disturbed a little bit. Okay. He will return again to the Himalayas and again he will start meditating. And at the end, okay, he will receive the Brahma Rishi status. Okay. All clear? Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
So with this, we'll end the session over here today, okay, with Vishwamitra Muni's story, okay, because after this, we will see how Rama, gets the above, okay, and how he does that, okay, and then we see the, like Sita Devi's pastime of how she also lifted the bow when she was younger, the bow of Lord Shiva. And then we will also see the story of how Rama got married to Sita and all the three brothers got married to the other, other halves of them. And we'll also see the story of Parasurama. Okay? Any doubts? All clear? Okay, what are the three types of rishis? Good. Okay. Very good. Okay, now who was the son of Brahma that we discussed in this story?
Kusha.
Kusha. Good. And Kusha had how many sons?
Four.
Four. Good. And the four sons founded how many cities?
Four.
Four cities. And all of the four cities were in the bank of which river? Soma River. Very good. Okay. And Soma River. Okay, good. And what was that one story of the son we were discussing about?
Kushamba.
Kushamba. Kushamba. Good. And Kushamba had how many daughters?
100.
Yeah, he had 100 daughters. And the 100 daughters married whom?
Brahmadatta.
Brahmarata. Good. And then Kushamba had one son also. What was the name of the son?
Gadi.
Gadi. Okay. And Gadi's son was?
Vishwamitra Muni.
Very good. Very good. All of you remember very well. Okay. And who was that one demigod who came and who cursed, who entered into the bodies of the 100 beautiful girls?
Vayu.
Vayu. Yeah. King of, demigod of the air. Okay. So now after Vishwamitra's story is revealed, Vishwamitra was previously a what? Before he was a rishi, he was a Kshatriya. Okay. And he had the power of all celestial weapons and that was given by
Shiva.
Lord Shiva. Very good. Okay. And then he wanted to attain the status of a...
Brahma Rishi.
Okay, good. Now I'm going to ask a difficult question. Okay, what is Brahma Rishi? What does Brahma Rishi mean?
Brahma Rishi is the
When
highest.
all God's qualities and has the utmost powers.
He has the most of powers, right? So he doesn't want Brahman, right? He just wants to, he has all knowledge and he helps people to deliver. Okay, and any examples you can give apart from Vishwamitra and Vashishta Muni of a Brahma Rishi?
Gautama Muni.
Who? No, it is from, you can say Sukadev Goswami. Okay, he was also a Brahma Rishi. Okay. And what is a Rajashri?
She is a great king who has also some qualities of a rishi.
Very good, very good. Okay. And what about a Deva Rishi? Who is a Deva Rishi?
She is a devata and has the qualities of rishi.
So Deva Rishi is actually a person who acts as a messenger, okay, between the humans and the gods, okay, like Narada Muni, okay. And Raj Rishi are like King Janaka Maharaj, Dasharatha Maharaj, all of them are Raj Rishis, okay. So these are examples. Very good, okay. With this, we can end today's class. All of you have done amazing job, okay. All of you remember everything. So we will end this class today and we will continue next week. Okay? All kids okay?
Yes.
Okay, we'll say the ending prayers. Okay? Vancha kalpatarupesya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnavinda ki. Srila Prabhupada ki. Ramayanam ki. Valmiki Rishi ki jai. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Okay? See you all next
Hare
week.
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji,
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna.
Pranam. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Matajis and Prabhujis, for coming. Hare Krishna. Any doubts with the elders also we can answer.
No, Mataji, the kids don't want to end this session. That's why they kept silent, I think. You told, nah, let me close the session. They all kept silent. They don't want to end it. Want it to be continued, I think. Like us.
Yeah, the kids also make it very interesting, right? For us to, continue also. Yes, Mataji. So it is so nice that you all are nice audience. I also want all of you also to answer, be a part of the kids and be like, very nice and mingly, Mataji. So next time, all of you also please try answering, yeah?
Enjoying kids' answers from Dalit.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna to all.